All right, we have made it to the 2 o'clock hour on a Sunday, and continuing with the Hollywood hair series. And today's style will be inspired by Lauren Bacall. As with all the rest of the series, I am going to read the description and then discuss how I'm interpreting the set. So, Lauren Bacall's famous long bob heightens the exotic quality of her face, which is rectangular in shape. Her hair is thick, of medium texture, and has a slight wave. Now Lauren's hair is cut. The hair is parted on the left. The top lock on the thick, or right side, is just long enough to form a curl at the temple. The hair is blunt cut to 1 1/2 inches below shoulder length at the sides, tapering to about 2 inches below shoulder length in the back. So picturing a bit of a U shape to the hair cut. How Lauren's hair is set. The top lock is set in 2 rows of 4 stand-up curls. See, 2 rows of 4 stand-up curls, set perpendicular to the part and rolled under toward the back of the head, which is different than anything else we have done in this series. So these 2 rows are actually rolled backwards to the back of the head. The sides and back are set in 2 rows of large pin curls starting just above the ear and sloping down across the back in a slight curve. So just above the ear, down in a slight curve, the back curve, also come over here, and you can see the curve there. After the hair has been combed out, it should be brushed vigorously to give the curls a soft, natural look. So the idea is that we want this to look like it hasn't been set at all. We're trying to aim for a really natural wave, which has been pretty consistent in the theming of what I've been presenting through the past however many, I can't remember, of the styles, which is all about versatility and, and softness. I'm gonna set this down real quick. And I wanted to show this in a curling iron set, so we're going to be using a 1-inch barrel curling iron. The hair was previously styled, so I didn't do anything aside from part the hair out, which I will show you in just a second, and we will be using, and I know it's backwards, we'll be using the heat buffer thermal styling spray, so that it will protect the hair from the heat of the curling iron and also encourage the set to stay once we have it set in. That sounded redundant, and I apologize. So we're going to come down to the doll here. Here we are. And just pull this off for a second just to show you that we have a left side part and a small left side section where we will start the curls here at the ear, and then we have the top, which will be the curls rolled backwards, and then a thinner right side section, and then following up with the back. So I will just start with the I think I'm going to start here on the left side. It's a fairly small section, and we will just create what will be somewhat reminiscent of pin curls, but I don't know that I'm going to specifically stick to pin curls per se, but just show you how I may do more of a barrel curl, kind of deciding on the fly here. So starting just above the ear, sorry, that's my hand, above the ear, giving myself a little bit, because I think I might do something a little bit closer to a barrel curl for this. So, little styling spray, and protect the hair. Just comb it through. And like I said, this hair was styled relatively recently ago, so I'm really just restyling, and I chose to do a little zigzag in here, a little zigzag parting, so we don't have a strong line between the curls. And since we want to have what would have been pin curls toward the face, we're going to be doing, let's see if I can come around here and do this, doing a barrel curl aimed somewhat towards the face. I hope that we can see. I am reaching over my fabulous device. So if you can see, I've put it at a slight angle here because I do want these curls, when they are done, to curl toward the face, somewhat in a mock pin curl. So I'm going to pin in a very specific pattern to make the base particularly flat. I have chosen to secure the curl with the pins on the top, pulling that down, and then we're going to take this next section and we are going to spray it for protection. Can we kind of see? I hope. And do my best to not accidentally spray my phone. That would be good. And we'll see if I can secure the next one in a somewhat decent fashion. Coming around. Yay, I got a crease. I have to comb the daylights out of it then. That's okay. See, happens to the best of us. So, and we're gonna do the same idea, which is to, and then it came loose. Even more fun. Try again, this time for real. Just grab some hair. Encourage it to stay tucked in. Please and thank you. And once more, at an angle here so that it can kind of mimic the way that the pin curl would shape towards the face. So, get that out. And once more, I am opting to pin from the top so that we get a little bit more of the straightness down to the curl. So we're still mimicking the pin curls going forward. It's just a simpler method to put in, especially if you were doing this, say, by yourself, to put in a couple quick barrel curls over the ear. Now we get to see how the top do. I'm gonna have to shift the camera, I'm pretty sure. Shifting, I think that's probably pretty good. And we're just going to, since it wanted basically 2 rows going, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm opting to do basically 2 side-by-side, my apologies, side-by-side barrel curls, so that each barrel curl would mimic 2 of the stand-up curls that were being asked for in the original styling. So I'm going to just part the hair out a little bit using the zigzag pattern, and this will be used for the curls over the right ear. And now that we have this whole big section on the top, I'm going to part once more using my zigzag parting, and we're going to curl back so that they are basically perpendicular, or 90-degree angle from the part. So we will spray. Yep, that'll probably be good. This one may end up as only one, just for how I ended up parting the hair a little bit. This may end up as just one curl. And I'm going to comb a little bit forward to create an on-base barrel curl to mimic the row of stand-up curls that would have been made had we done a wet set. But we are doing a curling iron set to make things a little bit simpler. So here we go. And always remove the curl carefully, especially for the sake of heat and not burning your fingers. And because we want these to stand up, I am pinning in the bottom and the, let's see if we can, so through the bottom, so it will hold the curl in an upright position. And this I am going to split in two. I will go ahead though and give it a good spritz. And there we go. And then I'm going to just divide it in half, mostly because it is such, this particular doll head has so much hair around the hairline, and then hardly anything in the middle. It's great. It's my favorite. Combing through, distributing the heat protectant, and then I'm going to see if I can pull back a little bit. I'm going to see. Hey, there's me. Okay, I think that'll show a little bit better what I'm doing. We'll find out in a moment. And I'll take curling iron and slide it all the way from the base to the tips of the hair so that you know that you've got some heat distributed throughout. And then we're going to let this sit, and I touch it until I can feel what I consider a sufficient amount of heat through the hair. And you can decide for yourself if you know what your hair can tolerate. Then you can determine what temperature your curling iron should be set to, but also how long you want to let the curling iron sit. So tuck that in there. So one curl, and then we'll do our last curl. Let's see if I can show it off a little bit. We've already sprayed it with the heat protectant, so that's fun. Fine. Let's see if I can do this without totally destroying everything. I didn't want to be in there, so we'll bring it over here. Fairly simple. Once more, starting at the base and sliding all the way through to the end of the hair, rolling it backwards. And I'm actually letting it sit at the scalp. Now, if you were doing this to a real person or yourself, you may not want to let it rest on the scalp. In certain cases, let me see if I can show real quick before I take this out, is that you might take a comb, slide the teeth in at the base, and then rest on the comb, and that can help keep you from lighting your scalp or anyone else's scalp on fire while setting the hair. And 2 clips, and away we go. And we're gonna switch around to the right side. Let's see if I can adjust down. I might have to do something similar like I did on the other side where I'm working over the camera, but we'll see. We shall see. Wandering around, wandering around. So here is our section that will be mimicking the pin curls once more. And I'm going to do a little zigzag. so we don't have harsh lines. Yet again, comb through and give it the spritz so we can protect it from the heat. It's always a good idea to use a heat protectant anytime you're using hot tools, whether it's a flat iron, curling iron, crimping iron, even a blow dryer can be, it's a nice way to protect the hair, especially if you're wanting your hair to last, or your hair color or anything like that. If you're having issues with damage, you're having issues with color fading, you're just having issues with your hair just not feeling good after styling, it's a nice idea to come through, and anytime you style with heat, using a heat protectant of any variety. It could be a cream, a gel, mousse, spray like I'm using right now. I mean, any number of things. And decided to be a jerk and try to. So we'll just tell it to behave itself. And once more, I'm going to come in from the, I know my hand's all up in the way, come in from the top to mimic the smoothness that we want from a pin curl versus actual stand-up curls that we are technically getting from using the curling iron in this manner. But I find that, especially if you're going to try doing a style like this on yourself, it's a lot easier with the curling iron to just make barrel curls and then futz with them as if they were pin curls, rather than trying to create pin curls. And like I said, especially on yourself, trying to create pin curls can be incredibly difficult. So let me just let it sit. I'm gonna, like I said, I just touch it till it feels hot enough for me. And then a lot of times I'll just use my nails to help guide the curl off the curling iron. And then same thing, we're going to come in over the top to create the illusion that we did a forward-facing set of pin curls here. Now we get to go to the back, and we're nearly finished with this. I've been getting rather, I don't know, you could call it lazy, I guess, but simple in my interpretation, so you don't have to spend a lot of time trying to create the look like you would if you were doing a wet set. Now, since we have a left-hand part, I am going to make a lightly diagonal part side to side, starting at the part in the top to create the curls that are going to be coming forward. And I believe I'm going to do it in long barrel curls. So I'm just going to do my diagonal parting. And then move that out of the way. Make sure we spray it with the heat protectant. Now, one thing is that while this doll head has the U shaping in the cut, it is definitely layered more than what was described in the diagram. And that's okay. I want it to be something that anybody can can do. So I'm just combing through, and then we're gonna just roll towards the face in a semi-vertical curl. I'm just gonna roll towards the face. Like I said, in a semi-vertical, lightly diagonal fashion. It's getting caught on something. It's going to take a second because, of course, it's a thicker bit of hair here, so I can keep my hands on it for a while. I don't always recommend that, but for now, it's fine. And if you don't feel comfortable trying to adjust yourself to do a vertical, you could just do a horizontal set of curls rolling under as well. Now we're going to do a little bit of the stretch. So we have the look, the slightly smoother crown, and the bottom is just secured wherever you can put one in. I'm going to do another diagonal style parting. Move this out of the way. And this way we don't end up having big lines anywhere. That's what the diagonal parting is for. It's just so you don't have separation between the curls as you go about creating them. You can just have the curls. And I'm not really fighting the top of the hair. It doesn't have to be bone straight. I'm just focusing. Which way do I want to go with this? I don't know. Maybe this way. There we go. I never know what I'm really doing. I'm faking it most often. Just see what happens. If I said it was going forward, it's going forward. And then we'll just set it here for a minute. And feel it up. Feel it up. But the idea is that we are mimicking forward rolled pin curls, since what was asked in the diagram was 2 rows of forward, I guess forward facing pin curls. So this is pretty close. And I apologize if you're hearing a lot of outside noise. It seems today they decided to do some work at the shop, and it's just kind of right outside my window. Spritz to protect. And then we'll do, this will be the last curl rolling forward to the right, and then we'll do curls rolling forward to the left, and then we will be finished for the day. And then we can come back. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. Then we can come back next week to see the comb out and see how creating loose curls can be a really nice way to casually style your hair, but still in a 1950s fashion. And in some ways it's kind of mimicking the 40s for the sake of the flat crown, but the 50s was definitely a lot looser, a lot more free in the styling, a little bit more in the area of soft wave, soft curl, not so much in the area of exact different brains, super smooth styling. This is really more about keeping it soft and simple. And since we do have this off-center part, I think we'll be able to get away with only having to do 2 curls on this side. So I'm kind of just rough guessing down the middle, and once more doing the zigzag parting so we don't have a harsh line between, well, between anything really. And we'll just pull this out here. Oh, that's fun. You can see my little rainbow. Maybe. Let's see. Can you kind of see it? No, I don't know. The lighting is terrible. There. See? Little rainbow. Little rainbow in there. That was a project a while back. Spritz for protection. And then I'm just going to comb through a little bit before I create the first curl, rolling forward to the left. See? All kinds of noise out there. I hope it's not too bothersome. Rolling forward to the left. Forward to the left. See if I can encourage all of the hair to turn under, join the party, I hope. It's a really big section. I think I just touched the curling iron too, so that's fun. I'm gonna burn myself, but only a little bit. Only a little bit. Sitting, waiting, sit and wait. And use my nails to carefully get that curl off there. And I'm gonna, just so I know it's here, I'm going to clip the bottom in and then the top. In some ways kind of following that same line that I started in the front there, and somewhat starting in the same way. So we'll be, should have a nice flow to it. Should be able to blend front to back, I feel. So this will be our last curl. Another little bit of a rainbow there, because that's fun. And what's hair if not for having fun with? I mean, if I could take my own head off, I'd probably do it to myself, but I don't know that I would be able to accurately show what I was doing all over my head if I couldn't see and aim the camera at what needed to be shown, especially, you know, from the back. If I start doing stuff like that with my own hair, I'll have to get somebody to help me. Get a extra hand, a camera person, to give me a little help. And here we go. This will be the last curl once I get the heat pretty much through everything. Like I said, use my fingernail, pull the thing off, and same idea, come in underneath, secure, and then add the last clip in the top, and then come through, give it a little spray with the style fixer once more. I know it's backwards, I apologize. This way can set, and then next week we shall come back together and make the style. But to recap, we have 2 rows of barrel curls rolled backwards and perpendicular to the part, and then we've chosen, instead of doing pin curls, to do barrel curls rolled slightly forward on a diagonal, and then the same in the back, which is rolled in a slight diagonal forward. And because of the left-hand part, that's why we've chosen to split the hair up into 2 different amounts in the back. And so next week we will see what we get out of this, and if she looks something like Lauren Bacall or nothing at all like her. And I think everybody, for joining me on my little hair adventure, and we'll see you next week, Sunday at 2. Look forward to seeing you.